Big Donk, and I'm back with another video. It's been a little bit, finals week now. I actually just took an exam earlier today. I think I did pretty well on that, so I was like, you know what, let's get in here, take a little break from all that, and get a video for you guys. Now, this is not going to be a Black Friday video. I honestly need to catch up on those. I did some good Black Friday shopping, and I was like, oh yeah, I can get some good videos from that. And I kind of forgot, the whole lineup of my school, my classes and all that. So it doesn't coincide too well, but I'm going to try to do my best with getting those out before I go away. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about this right here. Now, you guys can see, this looks like a pretty clear card. What is this? The answer is it's a melted diamonds cart from Blutree. More specifically, I got the cheetah piss from them. So maybe it's different in your guys' market, but I've definitely seen some liquid diamonds pens at dispensaries. If you guys even remember my dopest videos, I've gotten some liquid diamonds pens from them as well. But this is the first time I've seen something which didn't just look like distillate. And now I can't say this for certain. I want to say the reason is that most of those other liquid diamonds pens I've tried were mostly just actually distillate, and then they might have some like live terps added to them or stuff like that. That's always something that dispensaries do. And then again, the liquid diamonds pens from the dopest, those are like HHC and HHCP, which is another thing you gotta get a distillate version of. So I feel like this is the first time I'm actually having some real diamonds in here, unless this is also just some distillate. But it doesn't look like it, and according to their site, their mission statement, all that, they were talking about how it's, they take the diamonds, just the THC, melt it down at a low temperature so that they can keep it very clear, and then they have, the terpenes, the cannabis-derived terpenes in there that they mix in there, and then that's how they get their little concoction. So the main selling point with these, at least for my knowledge, is the fact that it's the melted diamonds, so very, very high THC concentration, very strong. Let's see, this one has 90.6% THC and 6.52% terps. There's a lot of THC up in here. So they're supposed to be very potent, they're supposed to be pretty tasty, and also they're supposed to be, very pure, hit very smooth and all of that. Now, as you guys can tell, I have hit this thing a couple times, so I know a bit about what I'm going to say about it. And before we hit it, I may as well say, look at that. You also might be able to see that coloration there. So when I originally got this thing, I got it the same day as the dog walker. I was really focused on that, so that's why, I didn't make any posts about it. But I did have to tap it a couple times, see what it's about. And I kind of left it sitting there. I came back to it and I noticed a little bit of coloration. I was originally under the impression that was just from, when you heat it up, there was a little reaction there. But as I talked to the Blutree people, it turns out it's actually from oxidization. So if you want your cart to be nice and clear, even clearer than mine, you definitely want to store it properly. You definitely want to keep this thing on top. And it's nice that they do include this little cap holder there, so you never lose that. And probably the best way to store it wouldn't be just sitting out on the pen on my desk, with direct sunlight and the windows open. It would probably be better for me to put it back in the box. But you live and you learn. So one final thing before we get into it. Boom, I got this battery right here. This is the Yukon Kodo Pro, and as you can see, right now I'm at 1.8 volts. That's the lowest this pen goes to. This is kind of where I keep it because I got put onto by the TVN guy who actually got this little battery from when I was getting some cold fires. He put me onto putting it at 1.8, and then here, we'll take a rip right here. You double tap it twice, it preheats. So this battery has a 10-second preheat mode, and he told me, he didn't tell me that, but what he did tell me is the best way, at least in his opinion, for getting some good flavor was to put it to the 1.8, you double tap that preheat, and then you wait 2 seconds. So you wait till it counts down to 8, you rip from 8 to 0, and you get a nice big rip, get some nice flavor, it's really smooth. And yeah, I'll say he was right, because that was a pretty nice big rip. You saw I got some good clouds. It was a low voltage though, so it didn't burn, no terps charred, and I thought it hit pretty damn nicely. But now that's just Mr. TVN's preference, and while, shouts out to Mr. TVN, what did Blutree have to say? Because I was on Twitter, I was talking about, some of the stuff I got. I mentioned this pen, I posted a picture, showed that it was on this battery, and like, oh, you got a good battery for that. I prefer smoking it on 2.7. I was like, That's a little high voltage for me usually. I'd say, I do the 1.8 tech, and then if I don't want to do a preheat, I just want to take a smaller rip, but still lower temp, I'll probably crank it up to a 2.4 at max. But they said 2.7. I gotta respect their wishes. Let's see. Cheers. That time I only took a 3.8 second rip compared to the 8-second rip last time. So I mean, it definitely got good clouds. It still tasted pretty good. I feel like the taste was a bit more in my face on the 1.8. Maybe that's just because it was bigger smoke, longer hit. But overall, I mean, that smoked pretty damn smooth. It still tasted pretty damn good. And let's think about these effects a little bit after one more rip. Cheers. Woo, I still got it. I mean, in true cart fashion, this is mainly a head high type feeling for me. And now, even though it doesn't give me, the full body effects I love off of like a nice bong rip or off a joint or something, it still does definitely hit me super nice. And I could say that the effects are pretty comparable to, when I've tried the cold fires. I haven't even made any videos on the cold fire juices, I think, but I've gone through multiple of those pens. Just in my graveyard up here, I've got 3 of them. So I had the apple fritter juice, I had the BTYOG juice, and then this one I peeled off, but I remember it was the Gludaz juice, I think. And if you guys aren't familiar with Cold Fire, they're a really popular live resin cartridge brand in California's rec market. They got some great terp profiles and all of that. Very good pens as well. I guess one more thing I should mention, I just mentioned terp profiles. How are the terps on this? So, I'm gonna turn it back down to 1.8, and we'll just take a normal rip. I'm not gonna do the 2-tap. Let's see how that's looking. And then we'll talk about the flavor. Okay, a little 5-second rip, 5.30. My thumb was in the way, I couldn't see the timer. Wow, yeah, that was a lot smoother than even when I did, the 10-second 1.8 rip. Flavor-wise, this is cheetah piss, and I'm definitely getting some cheetah piss in here. It's got that like kind of funky, it's like ammonia piss type smell to it. Like it's just very in your face. Like there's a little bit of earth, but for the most part, this is some funk, and I'm really happy because they had a good assortment of some strains on there. But honestly, it's been a little bit since I've had some cheetah piss. I was like, oh, that's a throwback. And also, I know that this one, if they actually do it right, is gonna be tasting like some funk. You guys know me, I like my funk. So they definitely succeeded in the terp factor. Let's see, I'm gonna do something crazy. Let's see, what's the max on this pen? Because, we did it on the lowest temp. We did it on their recommended temp. This shit goes up to 4.2. Yo, we're gonna cook this shit. Cheers. No, don't do that. The flavor just wasn't nearly as good there. Even I'm gonna put it back down to a 2.7. It's gonna taste so much better. Night and day. Actually, night and day. So yeah, I mean, overall, this pen is doing pretty damn good for me. Again, I do prefer, the full body, just flower high. But this isn't too bad. It's a nice head change. It's definitely got me feeling pretty damn fried right now. And if you're on the go, you can't really afford to bring a joint or something like that with you, even a dab rig or something. This is a pretty good solution right here. I've taken a couple rips and I'm absolutely blasted right now. It's got some good flavor on it, and it smoked pretty damn smooth too. The only downside I gotta give to these pens, in my opinion, is the damn price, bro. On TVN, the melted diamonds are $60 a gram. Now, it's at least not as bad as the dispensary prices around me, which are still trying to charge goddamn $50 at least for a gram of disty, but it's still pretty steep. And I don't know if I would really be coming back to these things too often. I just had to try them out, It's a cool, clear colored cart. I was like, okay, melted diamonds, if these are actually legit melted diamonds, I want to see, how does it compare to, other liquid diamond stuff I've had, and this is definitely hitting me better than, any of the dopest liquid diamonds pens have ever hit me. But yeah, it's really just that price that was kind of keeping me away, and the only reason I honestly threw it into my cart is because we already had the dog walker in there, and I'm like, dude, what the fuck, I'm already going bankrupt, may as well go even more. So yeah, I don't know if you guys will see another video on these from me. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. This will be in an upcoming Don't Do Box Challenge video or something like that for sure, because you know, now that I got a pen, I got to make a pen rips video. And this was one of them. I haven't had a pen in a little bit, so I guess it's kind of nice. You know, there's the convenience factor. But honestly, with my current setup, a bong rip is pretty convenient as well. And like, as much as I've done some good glazing of this pen, it's just not gonna hit me like a bong rip. And a bong rip's way cheap. Like, come on. Like, it definitely is a quality experience, don't get me wrong. I'm just thinking that the price might still be a little bit higher than the quality of like what I would pay for this quality. But at the end of the day, I mean, I can't fully complain. It's still hitting me nice. I'm gonna get out of here though. Thank you guys so much for watching all the way to the end. Big dunk. And now, whoosh.